Hello, everyone. I'm Sukhoon from Korea Basic Science Institute, Republic of Korea. Uh, Actually, this is my first time to present about MRI RF safety at AsiaSafe. So I'm very excited. My presentation would be much less than 20 minutes, so we can have more questions and answers. So today I will present about the source of local SAR in MR imaging system in a much more fundamental way. The content of my presentation is follows. I will firstly introduce the RF exposure scenario for the human body in MRI systems, and then define and classify the global SAR and local SAR. Then I will explain how the SAR affects the thermal burn during MR scan. Okay, let's just start with an introduction to the RF exposure scenario for the human body in MRI system. First, I need to show where the radio frequency comes from in the MRI system. Modern MRI system uses the superconducting magnets to generate the net magnetization vector, or M0 vector, in a human body, which consists of hydrogen or proton about up to 70%. The strength of superconducting magnet usually from 1.5 to 15.2 Tesla, which is very strong. When the proton is placed in a strong magnetic field, it wobbles around the axis of the magnetic field, so-called precession. The precession frequency of the M0 vector can be simply calculated as omega 0. Gamma is a constant that is the gyromagnetic ratio of the proton at 42.57 megahertz per Tesla. V0 is main magnetic field strength in Tesla. So here is a simple workbook to determine the resonance frequency at different field strengths. For example, 42.57 times 3 is 128. So that 128 megahertz is the radio frequency in a 3 Tesla MRI system. Again, 42.57 megahertz times 15.2 Tesla equals 647 megahertz, which is the only RF in 15.2 Tesla MRI system. Now, we understand that where the RF is coming from in the MRI system. Now, the transmit RF power is applied to the human body using the transmit RF coil. The transmit RF power flips the visual vector for MR signal generation. During this time, the human body is exposed to the RF electromagnetic field. Then, as we well know, the recovering MR signals are collected by the receiving RF coil. Hold on. Yeah, here. Sorry. So this is the RF exposure scenario of the human body in the MRI system. Nowadays, 3 Tesla MRI systems are very widely used. 1.5 Tesla MRI is even commonly used in animal clinics. Why do people want to increase the field strength of MRI system? It is mainly due to the higher signal to noise ratio, various image contrast, and better signal condition of multi-nuclei. How the stronger MRI system increase the SNR? There are two reasons. One is the increased strength of the net magnetization vector. The other is the increased resonance frequency. What about the condition of human RF exposure? The specific absorption rate, or SAR, increased in proportion to the square of the increase in the main magnetic field strength, V0. For example, the SAR of a 3 Tesla MRI system would be 4 times higher than that of a 1.5 Tesla MRI system, because the magnetic field is twice as strong. Similarly, compared to 1.5 Tesla, the SAR of the 7 Tesla MRI system is expected to be approximately 22 times higher, which is sort of crazy. From now on, I will explain the SAR by distinguishing between global and local SAR. AsiaSafe management in the MRI system is basically based on SAR. The unit, where is that? The unit of the SAR is watts per kilogram, because the numerator is the RF power and the denominator is the weight of a human body. In other words, the SAR is directly affected by local electrical conductivity and the electric field distribution. Here is an example of a numerical simulation of a body coil. The electric field is simulated here. Yeah, here. Yeah, then the SAR distribution is calculated, especially within the RF coil area. Now, I will explain SAR separately into global SAR and local SAR. Firstly, the global SAR is a kind of averaged SAR within a given volume. It can be easily measured with some RF electronics during any MR scan, not by estimation, but by direct measurement again. On the other hand, the local SAR is a maximum SAR within a given volume. Local SAR cannot be measured or monitored. Therefore, it can only be estimated by numerical simulation. Since the local SAR occurs locally in the human body, it may burn the biological tissues. However, you never worry about this unwanted accident, because the RF safety of MRI systems, especially the higher field strength MRI system, is too much conservatively managed. So don't worry about that too much. However, we need to open our eyes and pay more attention to the local SAR at higher than 3 Tesla MRI system. Let's take a look at this example of a numerical simulation of SAR. Let's assume that the average SAR, which is global SAR, is within regulatory limit. However, we found a sufficiently higher local SAR at a specific location, usually at the peripheral region of a volume. Then peak SAR, local SAR, is usually averaged out during the averaging process, so that we cannot easily aware of the unsafe conditions. This unsafe condition may burn the biological tissues. Who knows? Therefore, the simplest solution to protect the human body from the potentially unsafe condition is to manage the SAR safety quite conservatively. For RF safety, the conservative approach is certainly the way to go so far. However, for the efficient operation of the MRI system, some form of effective RF safety management is definitely required. Finally, I will show how SAR affects thermal burn in the MRI system. During MRI scans, the electric current flow in the human body occurs through the switching gradient system. The current flow may be concentrated at a specific location, for example, by higher electrical conductivity or narrow current paths. This unhappy condition raises the local SAR, then possibly causes local heating. As a result, the biological tissues may be burned. The electromagnetic field tends to localize at higher field strength, as I have numerically simulated from 1.5 Tesla to 14 Tesla. This is mainly due to the shortened wavelength effect. When the frequency is increased, then each wavelength is shortened. The shortened wavelength causes an inhomogeneous electromagnetic field in the human body. Therefore, the localized electric field distribution are quite common at higher field MRI systems. So here are also numerical simulations of the human head from 3 Tesla to 12 Tesla. As the field strength gets higher than the electromagnetic field inhomogeneity gets proportionally worse. This means that a much worse concentrated current density can be expected. It eventually causes the local SAR. Another aspect of a thermal burn, it may be due to the induced current pathways. In other words, the induced current passes create tiny contact surface or point between the fingers and the human body. Then higher current density occurs at the contact surface or point, which eventually and possibly cause thermal burns, just like this. As the loop size here, as the loop size gets larger, then the induced current gets higher. As a result, more severe thermal burns may occur. Occasionally, people may experience thermal burn from direct contact, just like over here. Direct contact with the inner bore, especially around the transmitted RF coil capacitors, as I indicated with the yellow arrows here. Since the dielectric heating always occurs at the capacitors, especially at higher RF power at higher field MRI system. Some thermal burns have been reported to the FDA or in scientific publications, just like this. Around 2015, the WHO began to take an interest in temperature for the purpose of RF safety medicine. Since then, ICNIRP and IEC regulation have released new updates that includes much more about temperature, thermal damage, and CEM43, which means cumulative equivalent minutes at 43 degrees Celsius. These releases have significantly more references to temperature stuff than the previous releases. This is because SAR does not take into account the thermoregulatory mechanism of the human body, whereas the CEM43 does. In other words, the CEM43 considers the heating by SAR and cooling also by blood perfusion or pausing the scan in between the complicated MRI scans. For sure, the management of SAR RF safety in the MRI system, working together with thermal stuffs would improve the efficiency of MRI system operation. Therefore, I would like to conclude my presentation by saying that RF safety management in the MRI system would be efficiently and accurately improved by the considering more about the thermoregulatory effect of our human body. Thank you for your attention. It is, that's all my presentation. Thank you.